The X Zone Radio Show is heard on radio broadcast affiliates worldwide, including
AM 580 CFRA in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
WPUL AM 1590 in Daytona Beach, Florida.
KOHI AM 1610 in St. Helens, Oregon.
KHRO AM 1150 in El Paso, Texas. And for more information on becoming a professional broadcast affiliate of the X Zone Radio Show, visit
www.xzbn.net
or call toll-free worldwide
1-800-610-7035.
The X Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, REL-MAR McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio. Let me see, Star Cable and Ustream, 1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv at hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Alan SLONAKER, and Alan is with the Center for Paranormal Research and Investigations. He is the Regional Director for Central Virginia and the Public Affairs Officer. A native of the city of Richmond, Alan grew up in a Victorian-era home in the city's downtown. It was there, Exonation, that he had his first brushes with the paranormal. Alan was exposed to the city's history and lore at a very early age. Now, that sparked a lifelong interest in history and the paranormal, which ultimately led him to join CPRI in 2007. In joining CPRI, he was thrilled to find a group that approached the study of the paranormal in such an interesting and professional manner. In addition to working as the Public Affairs Officer for CPRI, Alan also serves as investigator with the Central Virginia Regional Team. Alan has a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice from Virginia Commonwealth University, with minor courses of study in sociology and urban planning. He has spent nearly 20 years involved in the public safety field, including search and rescue, EMS, and law enforcement. Alan has spent the last 13 years serving in law enforcement and currently works as a criminal investigator. His interests include almost everything involving history, especially World War II history, collecting and reproducing sci-fi movie props, costumes, traveling, and reading. And joining me now is Alan SLONAKER, who is with the Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation, also known as CPRI. And Alan, welcome back to the X Zone. How are you, good sir?
Very good, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always great talking to you. You and I were talking off air about the weather. It's over 100 degrees where you are in Virginia right now. It's It's 91 where we are in Hamilton. And here's a question going into the commercial break that we have to take in about a minute from now. Does the weather play a part in paranormal activity?
There are some theories that indicate that it indeed can. Particularly this time of year in this part of the United States, we get a lot of sudden thunderstorms. And as you know, thunderstorms bring with it a high degree of lightning, electrical activity. And one theory is that paranormal phenomena can actually feed off of the buildup of electrical activity in the atmosphere. And that connects to the theory that paranormal activity is, electromagnetically based.
Alan, stand by, good sir. You and I have to take our commercial break. Great having you with us this final hour of tonight's show. Exonation, Alan SLONAKER is our special guest, Regional Director for Central Virginia of the Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation. Their website is www.virginiaghosts.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break in 2 minutes as we continue here in the X-Zone from our studios in hot and steamy Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I mean, it's hot and steamy outside. In here, it's a nice and cool 68 degrees. I'll be back. Don't go away.
I thought I saw a man brought to life. He was warm, he came around like he was dignified. He showed me what it was to cry. Well, you couldn't be that man I adored. You don't seem to know, seem to care what your heart is for. Well, I don't know him anymore. There's nothing where he used to lie. The conversation has run dry. That's what's going on. Nothing's fine, I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel.
We're talking about ghosts, hauntings, things that go bump in the night. We're talking with Alan SLONAKER, who is the Regional Director for Central Virginia, and he's also the Public Affairs Officer for the Center for Paranormal Research and Investigations. Their website is virginiaghosts.com. Alan, tell us about CPRI, history, structure, and how you guys operate.
Okay. CPRI was founded by our director, Bobby Atcherstein, back in 2000 as a paranormal research group. But what we wanted to do that was slightly different than a great many groups that are out there today is that we wanted to approach the study of the paranormal from a scientific standpoint, using very traditional investigative methods with an emphasis on documenting solid evidence that hopefully could be reproduced under laboratory settings.
So you're taking the scientific approach.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That is most definitely what we strive for. We are broken into 5 different regions around the state. Each one is headed by a regional director, and they head a regional team. And the majority of the work that we do involves complaints that come in from citizens around the state, sometimes out of state, complaining of some sort of haunting activity, if you will, in their home. And what we will do is assign a regional team to investigate that allegation. And we are also, for those of you that are familiar with the Sci-Fi Channel's Ghost Hunter show, their organization is called TAPS, the Atlantic Paranormal Society.
Right.
And they created a network of groups called the TAPS family, which is groups around the United States that operate off of similar protocols and share information. And we are a part of the TAPS family here in the U.S. and also get case referrals from them as well.
What does it take to become a paranormal researcher with CPRI?
I think it takes an open mind, but we're also looking for people that are objective, skeptical. I mean, CPRI represents, a pretty broad spectrum of people of varying backgrounds and beliefs, and it'd be very hard to put your finger on what does CPRI believe, because one member may answer one thing and the other may answer something else. But what we do is we try to put our personal beliefs aside and approach every case objectively and skeptically, and to seek out any possible explanation other than a paranormal one before we can actually say that something is indeed possibly paranormal in nature. That's the type of people that we're looking for, that can operate professionally, can operate under stress, that can deal with the public very well. And again, we represent a broad spectrum of backgrounds. Myself, as well as a couple other members, are police officers with extensive backgrounds in law enforcement. And a lot of that skill set applies to what we're doing here. We have people with engineering backgrounds, we have a medical doctor, we have a PhD psychologist, computer scientists, and just average run-of-the-mill folks, too. People with even just retail backgrounds. We have educators. It's a pretty broad spectrum.
Alan, what brings a person to want to investigate the paranormal? What's the draw? What's the pull?
I think it's the curiosity about the unknown. That's what drove me. I love a good mystery. I love a kind of a classic whodunit. And I think if you question people in this field about that, most of them will tell you that at some point in their life they had some sort of brush with what they suspect was the paranormal. And I know I did, and that always left me kind of wondering, what is that? Why is that? And as I became an adult, it never kind of went away, and I finally found myself involved with CPRI, now actively looking for answers.
Something you said before that I have never heard from any other paranormal investigation organization or investigator before is that you go out there with a skeptical point of view. Now, that's totally different from any other organization that I've had on the show. Why do you take that approach?
Well, and just to be clear, we're going out there from a skeptical standpoint.
Yes.
We're not going out there to debunk or to ridicule in any way. But I think it's very important whenever you do this type of research that even if you believe in the phenomena, I personally believe in the phenomena.
Right.
But many, many, many times you will find that you get a case, and that the answer isn't paranormal at all. On a personal level, I mean, I tend to think that the paranormal exists, but it is a ghostly phenomena, if you will, is rare. And that many, many, many times, what happens is mistaken identity, misidentification. You have some people that genuinely have some sort of mental health issue. And then also, too, you find, at least here in the States, there's such a glut of paranormal programming.
Yeah.
That I think many, many times people so desperately want to experience the paranormal that they put all of their personal objectivity aside. And we have to be aware of that and be able to put that aside to look at the facts of a case.
What is the percentage based on your own investigations within the CPRI when you folks have been called out or have gone out to do an investigation that the paranormal is actually present? Would you say it's 60%, 50%, 40%?
Actually, I would say probably less than 10%.
Wow.
Less than 10%. I think we fielded, last time I got the statistics on that, I think was the 2009 report where we had fielded in excess of 700 calls for service.
In a year?
In a year.
700?
Yes, sir. And some of those are calls simply seeking information. Mm-hmm. Great many of those are seeking case requests. And we go out, and again, many times there's a reasonable explanation. You do have that very small percentage of the hoaxsters, mm-hmm. Which is something, thankfully, we don't run across very often at all. Again, you have many people, I think, that truly want to believe that what they're experiencing is paranormal. But once you whittle it down, I think we're down to under 10%. Now, when you get that under 10%, that's some pretty good, pretty interesting stuff. But it's still a relatively small number. And that's what I would caution a lot of paranormal investigators, particularly people looking to get into the field, people looking to start a group, mm-hmm. is be mindful of that.
Yeah. All that goes bump in the night necessarily isn't the paranormal.
No, sir.
What about these stories that people hear about TVs going on by themselves, garage doors opening by themselves, doors opening by themselves? Have you found in the past that there are logical explanations for this?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, look, take a simple television remote. Mm-hmm. That's operating off of a radio signal. Same with a remote car garage door opener. It's quite possible that there's some sort of interference. You could have a neighbor 2 doors over that's on the same frequency, and they hit their button and possibly turns your TV on. I mean, that's a little far-fetched, but the principle is sound, and that is one of the things that we would immediately, on a report like that, seek to eliminate as a possibility.
What is the most common report of paranormal activity that you at the CPRI get?
It's kind of hard to put your finger on one thing. Mm-hmm. I think sounds are a very common type of report. Shadow figures is another very common type of report. And then I would say in the past year we've gotten a lot of email with people reporting what would be called phone calls from beyond, if you will.
All right, Alan, you and I have to take a commercial break, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, my friend. Fascinating conversation with Alan SLONAKER. This is why I like Alan, because he's an investigator. He doesn't go in for the woo-woo factor. He's just like the guy from Dragnet. Facts. Just the facts. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break. For more information, www.virginiaghosts.com. You're listening to the X-Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio,
Euro High Definition Radio,
and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035.
Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com.
on MSN Messenger, X-Zone Radio TV at hotmail.com,
and our website.
www.xzoneradiotv.com.
It's all been done. I don't wanna take it anymore. I'll just stay here locked behind the door. Just no time to stop and get away. 'Cause I work so hard to make it every day. Ooh. Ooh. There's no money falling from the sky.
Exonation, Alan SLONAKER is our special guest. He's the Regional Director for Central Virginia and the Public Affairs Officer for the Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation, that's CPRI. Their website is www.virginiaghosts.com. Alan, when the CPRI gets a request from a citizen requesting your assistance in helping investigate a paranormal activity, what is the protocol that the CPRI goes through?
Okay. The first thing that's going to happen is that complaint is going to get forwarded to the appropriate regional director, depending on where it is in the state. From there, the regional director will make contact with the complainant, and usually by phone, and have a discussion, get some additional details, try to feel out the complaint, get as much information as possible, and from there we will likely proceed to what's called a POI, a preliminary on-site investigation, where either the regional director or a designate, along with at least one or two other investigators, because we never just send one person, will go out and sit down, do a face-to-face interview with the complainant and as many witnesses as are available. We will get the complainant to show us around the area where the activity is supposedly taking place. We may do a EMF sweep of the home to try to identify any possible sources of high EMF fields. One of the things that we have found is that old or poorly insulated wiring gives off a very high EMF field, and that's one thing that could possibly cause an individual to mistakenly experience haunting phenomena. And based on our findings from the POI, and there's some written tests that we give too, some personality tests that we take and keep on file, and if we have to have a medical professional or a psychiatric professional review that, then we have those there. We also give them a questionnaire that is helpful in kind of gauging somebody's susceptibility to electromagnetic fields, which ties into what I just spoke about how that can possibly affect one's perception. And then we sit back, we look at everything we've gathered, and based on our findings, and again, one other thing we may do is an EVP session. And again, based on our findings, we'll make a decision as to whether or not and when we're going to come back for an FOI, which is a full on-site investigation, where we'll show up with a larger team and more equipment and do what we do and hopefully collect some good evidence.
How long does the average paranormal investigation take?
That depends. There's no concrete answer to that one. Many times we will find that somebody will come to us reporting paranormal activity, and the first question you ask is, well, when does this happen, and how often does this happen? And they may say, well, something happens, and then 3 months later something else happens, or there's absolutely no predictability to it, and there seems to be perhaps some large gaps of time between incidents. So the thing that we always ask them is start a log. Just leave it on your kitchen table. Something happens, write it down, date, time, what you experienced, and who was there to witness it. And we may ask them to do this for a couple months, and hopefully we can go back, look at that log, and maybe we've established some sort of pattern, and that will better tell us when might be a good time to conduct a full investigation. But the thing is, sometimes people, too, come looking for a concrete answer, or even to have us stop whatever is going on.
Really?
And the thing is, the first thing I tell somebody as an investigator is that sometimes you come out with more questions than you do answers. And we can kind of help you come to terms with and coexist with what's going on, but we're no way empowered to get rid of it. We're not ghostbusters. We can't remove it from your environment, but we can help you better understand what's going on and hopefully live with it.
What has been the most perplexing investigation that you have been on with the CPRI?
We had an incident took place in the northern portion of the state, where this individual was being scratched. Scratches in threes. The scratches were uneven, so it didn't look like there was a prong, like if you were to scratch yourself with a fork, then the scratches themselves would be equidistant.
Yes.
They weren't all like that, and they were all over this individual's body, literally all, and actually leaving permanent scars. We went up, and this individual said that they were not only getting scratched, but were being physically assaulted, pulled off their bed, pushed. We investigated this case up one side and down the other, reached into our bag of tricks with just about everything and could not come up with anything at all. And unfortunately, the phenomena was such that none of us, myself included, ever witnessed this phenomena actually happening, which is frustrating because, based on what we came away with, it could go either direction.
But was there, in
something
fact,
was clearly going on?
Did you find any evidence that there might have been a paranormal connection, or was this being perpetrated by the person themselves?
I couldn't conclusively say.
No way.
I can say that we did not come away with any evidence of paranormal phenomena, and we went so far as to spend 24 and 48 hours at this person's home, glued to their side for as long as we could, given our personal schedules and our work schedules, and couldn't document any paranormal activity. But yet this was going on. Now, whether the person was doing it themselves or this was paranormal in nature, difficult to say. But something clearly was going on.
What has been your most... let me see. What has been your most positive proof that you've seen during an investigation that, yes, indeed, this is paranormal, and this is why it is paranormal?
I think when I was first on your show, we talked about a recent trip to Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Kentucky. Yeah. And we were so excited about that as a group that we actually returned to Waverly Hills Memorial Day weekend of this year, so back at the end of May. And it was less active this time, but I think, and we're still reviewing evidence from that, and that's a long process. But that place, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I think is most definitely haunted. And it's a fabulous piece of property to begin with, but I think it's most definitely haunted in my personal opinion. The first time we went there, we did see shadow persons, people, an apparition that we watched for a group of us of about, I guess it was 7 or 8 of us watched while we sat at the end of the hallway as this apparition kind of moved about for a solid 20-plus minutes.
Now, what kind of apparition?
Very wispy, humanoid form, but not kind of together. Very, very wispy, and went kind of back and forth, side to side across the hallway. And while this was going on, we had shadow activity. Shadow was blocking out light coming in at the end of the hallway, shadow figures peeking around door frames. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing that I had experienced since I started doing this. And we've gotten some EVPs out of that property that were very interesting. When we went this last time, we didn't have any apparition activity, but we did have some interesting noises. We had, if those familiar with the Waverly Hills know that the 5th floor was the children's ward. And our team was up there, and we had 3 balls laid out. And we were trying to get something to interact with one of these balls. And I was urging something to move the ball, kick the ball, make it move. And on 4 separate occasions in just over a 5-minute period, one of the balls, only one, started wobbling about. And I don't mean just like a little teeter. I mean actually wobbled about very distinctly, very visibly. And the floor is such that you can go and stand next to each of those balls and jump up and down as hard as you can and not create any movement. It's also shielded from the wind there. So that was very interesting.
So tell me, why is it...
We're still going through evidence for that most recent investigation. But that's just such a cool piece of property. It's a wonderful place to go. I could go there every week and get something out of it.
Alan, why is it that whatever the paranormal entities are that are at this location, why do they stay there? What is the attraction for them? Why don't they move on? Or why stay there? Or are these electromagnetic anomalies that are just clamped into the time-space continuum or the magnetic loop that is resonance throughout that entire property? How do you explain that?
The truth is we don't really know. There's a lot of theories. There's some very wild theories. There's some very what I think are scientific theories. One deals with the concept of residual haunting, and that when you see or you hear something that is ghostly in nature, if you will, you're not actually seeing the spirit of a dead person. You're seeing an image or a sound from the past that, for whatever reason, is actually playing out on the present, much as you would project a movie onto a screen.
Right.
And, there's a lot of us, myself included, that believe that perhaps as traditional science starts to better understand quantum mechanics, quantum theory, space and time, that there may be a legitimate traditional scientific explanation for that at some point. I don't know what to say. I mean, on a personal level, I think some of what we or other teams experience at a place like Waverly or another location, may be residual in nature.
Right.
They may be actually spirits of deceased individuals. I think that I'm very open to that idea. And then there's some more radical ideas that you have spirits, inhuman spirits, be they good or be they evil, that are never walked the earth. They are just kind of part of the universe, if you will, and your angels and demons, if you will.
Right.
Again, CPRI doesn't really take a position as to what this is. We're happy to present any number of theories, and but it's very, what is it? I couldn't conclusively say.
Stand by, Alan. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exonation, Alan Slonaker is our special guest. He is the Regional Director for Central Virginia and the Public Affairs Officer of Center for Paranormal Research and Investigations. That's CPRI, and their website, www.virginiaghosts.com. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we do our wrap-up for tonight, Monday, July the 5th. Now, Tuesday, July the 6th. It all depends on where you're listening to us. Anywhere on this great, big, beautiful planet of ours. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away.
On my way to better things, I found myself some ways. Distant roads are calling me. No time for a summer friend. No time for the love you send. Seasons change and so did I. You need not wonder why. You need not wonder why. There's no time left for you. No time left for you.
And welcome back, everyone. Wow, where did the 4 hours go? My guest this hour is Alan Slonaker. We're talking about ghost hauntings, things that go bump in the night. He is the Regional Director for Central Virginia of the Paranormal Research and Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation, CPRI. And their website is www.virginiaghosts.com. As always, Alan, a great pleasure having you on the show. Here's a question that I get asked whenever I'm going to be speaking to someone like yourself or another investigation group is, what should someone do if they think their house is haunted?
Well, first of all, don't panic. While the phenomena may be frightening at times, generally speaking, it can't and won't do you any harm. So don't panic. Secondly, try to do some of your own investigation, and part of that is to look at what's going on objectively. Look around your home and try to look for things that may be the cause of what you're experiencing that are not paranormal.
Yeah.
Whether it's a knock in your plumbing or bad wiring or whatever. But then I go back to keeping a journal. Keep a good journal. Document what's going on. Because for somebody like myself coming in, to be able to look at that from the start, that's a great jumping off point.
So I would imagine what you do is you rule out the possible before you start looking for the impossible, or in this case, the paranormal.
Correct.
Here's a quick question. We've got less than a minute, Alan. So evil. Have you ever seen anything demonic or anything that would be classified as evil or dangerous within the paranormal?
I personally have not, thankfully. But on a strictly personal level, I believe that type of phenomenon can and does exist.
Right.
Again, that's my personal belief, but that is probably, and thankfully so, more rare than is the rarest of paranormal phenomena.
Alan, you and I have to say so long for now. I do want to thank you so much for joining us. Always a great pleasure. Quickly, give out your website to our listeners.
Thank you, Rob. Our website is www.virginiaghosts.com, and CPRI can also be found on Facebook and Twitter.
Alan SLONAKER, thank you very much, and my regards to all the good people at the CPRI.
Thank you, Rob.
Well, that's it for tonight, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. To all our affiliates worldwide and satellite providers, thank you for keeping the X-Zone on your stations, your satellite networks, your feeds, wherever you are. And always, X-Zone Nation, until tomorrow, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.
But you can't stay here. I know.
Thanks a lot, Alan. Great talking to you
Rob,
again.
thank you so much.
Hey, listen, buddy, if anything comes up that you need to get out there, let me know. We'll get you right on.
Certainly will. Two quick questions.
Sure.
One, when can I hear this?
I'll be sending you the information. I'll send you the iTunes and podcast information within the next hour and a half.
Oh, great. And when can we watch your Paranormal Cop show?
That is just being, it was purchased by the CBC. As soon as I get their broadcast schedule, I'll know. You know how it goes. If the network buys it, you work for them.
Oh, yes. Well, eager to see that one.
I can guarantee you it's quite good. I've seen a couple of the finished segments. They're really interesting.
Great. Are y'all going to come to the U.S. with it?
Not this year. Next year, we're looking forward to it.
Okay, great.
Alan,
Well, fantastic.
Hey, listen, take care of yourself. And from